I think right now they can feel comfortable with being inside their homes. If there's any risk or future risk, we'll certainly get the word out. However, that's not anticipated that there's going to be any future evacuations.
Well, today, authorities are giving the all clear after an industrial fire forced the evacuation of most of Warden. We'll have a report coming up from Grant County with more on that investigation.
Also today, Idaho lawmakers are squabbling on the state's COVID-19 response and rolling shutdowns. New at noon, it comes with a desperate plea from the governor.
And we're taking you outside where sunshine dominates the day, but don't let it fool you. It feels much colder than it looks.
Hi everyone, and welcome to KREM 2 News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti alongside my good friend Jen York today, and we are tracking breaking news at this hour about a mass COVID-19 vaccination clinic at the Spokane Arena.
Yeah, this is a story that we first brought you yesterday on KREM 2 News at noon. We now know it is expected to be up and running next Wednesday. That is new information out just in the last 30 minutes. However, this is a bit of a moving target. Right now, they're just waiting for the vaccine to arrive, and that opening date is dependent on when that gets to Spokane. Also new at noon, Chaz health leaders tell us they anticipate receiving the Pfizer vaccine. Now, once open, the clinic will be an indoor operation by appointment only. How to schedule those appointments, though, is still in the works. The Spokane Regional Health District is working on that operation, as is the Washington National Guard.
This is also coming in new at noon. Idaho Governor Brad Little is pleading with state lawmakers not to dissolve the state's COVID-19 emergency declaration. He addressed the state just within the last hour. And I just want to take a moment here to read a little bit about what Governor Little had to say. And he was very clear. He says, I believe in my heart that what the legislature is doing is wrong for the people. Stop the political games, he says, and also saying abandon the myth the emergency declaration shuts down Idaho, and abandon the myth that it is somehow infringing on rights. And the governor does go on again, encouraging members not to pull back on it. The address comes as some members of the legislature push to reopen Idaho even further. However, Governor Little added that ending the declaration now would mean less vaccines for Idaho and more taxes. Also coming up, the Idaho COVID-19 Vaccine Advisory Committee will vote on priority subgroups in the vaccine rollout beginning in February. Folks from Idaho 65 and older will be able to sign up to get vaccinated.
There was a concern about around 8 o'clock last night that a large ammonia storage tank may explode that caused resources to go door to door to a good portion of the town of Warden to evacuate those people in case that tank did explode. Thankfully, it did not, and people were allowed to return to their homes early this morning.
All right, so take a look at the last 24 hours in Warden. You can see that image there is from overnight. Well, right now an investigation is getting underway at that industrial fire at the Washington Potato Processing Plant. Dana Marie McNichol is in Warden now with more on what happened.
Well, there's only a couple of fire crews left on scene here, but when we arrived at 6 a.m., it was much different. I saw with my own eyes massive flames coming from that potato factory, as well as a large 75-foot ladder with a heavy stream of water coming over the top to make sure to put out that fire. Now, crews were working all night long. The original report came in around 5:30. The dehydration area of the factory started on fire. Then a little bit later, they had worries that the ammonia tank in that factory could explode. That's when they gave evacuations to many homes in the area. The Grant County Sheriff's Department did say they went around and had resources making sure people got out safely. I did speak with a woman this morning who had to grab her kids and head out really quickly.
I packed up the kids. They were both in bed, put them in the truck, loaded up the dog, went and banged on the neighbors' doors. Took about 5 minutes, and then we went to Othello and ate Burger King in the parking lot, and the kids thought it was a picnic.
Warden has a population of only 2,800, and a devastation like this one really does impact the community. Megan also did mention that she knows many people who work here.
It was scary. We all live right here in town, And if the tank had gone up, it was worrying that everybody hadn't been able to get out of town, or if we could come back, when we could come back. So it was scary.
They're thankful for the first responders who fought this fire all night long. No one was injured or killed in this fire, which is one of the biggest takeaways this morning. The Grant County Sheriff's Office even called it a blessing. They said that crews are going to be on scene for the next couple of hours, making sure everything is cleared up and clean for the community. Reporting in Warden, I'm Dana Marie McNichol.
Well, boy, you can track developments on that fire right now on KREM.com. You can also find the information on the KREM 2 mobile app.
We're just so thrilled and thankful that no one was hurt or killed in that fire, because obviously very dramatic and very impactful. All right, we're going to switch here at 12:05 right now. Jeremy Legoo is joining us in the Outdoor Weather Center with what we can expect for the weekend weather. Hi, Jeremy.
Hi, Laura. Hi, Jen. This is incredible. I'm just going to stay out here. It feels so much warmer than it actually is. We're currently sitting at about 30 degrees here in Spokane with a light wind out of the northeast. You're going, oh, that sounds a little cold. You find the sun where I am, and boy, does it feel nice outside. Temperatures hovering right near 30 degrees across the inland northwest. It is a mild midday, but there's always a but here. It feels a little cooler. If you find yourself in some of that light wind, it feels like it's down in the low 20s still. I'm thankfully blocked from some of that wind and right in that direct sunlight, so it feels nice and mild. Wind stays pretty light as we head through the next few hours. That's good news, but it's still going to be enough to drop that feels like temperature down by about 5 to 7 degrees depending on where you are. We hang on to this sunshine, this stuff right here. Oh man, that feels good. Today and tomorrow, it's going to be absolutely wonderful. This afternoon, temps continue to climb, mid-30s later on today. Enjoy it tomorrow, even colder than this morning was. Tomorrow afternoon, we struggled to get above freezing, and by Sunday, we're talking snow. And I've got those details coming up in the full forecast.
Jeremy, appreciate it. President Biden right now is delivering remarks on the economy, so we're going to take a moment and listen in.
With the interest rates as low as they are, historic lows, it is smart fiscal investment, including deficit spending. And they're more urgent than ever. You know, and that return on these investments in jobs and racial equity is going to prevent long-term economic damage and benefits that are going to far surpass their cost. If we don't act, the rest of the world is not standing still in terms of their competitive advantage or their competitive possibilities relative to us. That our debt situation will be more stable and not less stable, according to these economists, and that such investments in our people is going to strengthen our economic competitiveness as a nation and help us outcompete our competitors in the global economy, because we're going to grow the economy with these investments. While the COVID-19 package that passed in December was a first step, as I said at the time, it's just a down payment. We need more action, and we need to move fast. Last week, I laid out a two-step plan of rescue and recovery to get through the crisis and to a better and stronger and more secure America. The first step of our American Rescue Plan is a plan to tackle the pandemic and get direct financial relief to Americans who need it the most. You know, in just a few days, it's just been a few days since I outlined this plan. It's received bipartisan support from a majority of American mayors and governors. Businesses and labor organizations have together welcomed it as an urgent action that's needed. Even Wall Street firms have underscored its importance. In fact, an analysis by Moody's estimates that if we pass our American Rescue Plan, the economy would create 7.5 million jobs just in this year alone. That would be on the way to the more than 18 million, I think it was 18,600,000 jobs that they believe would be created over the 4-year period with our Build Back Better recovery plan. And with our American Rescue Plan, our economy would return to full employment a full year faster than without the plan. Even President Trump's now, not some liberal organization, President Trump's top former economic advisor, Kevin Hassett, said, quote, he absolutely is in favor of this rescue plan. This almost doesn't have a partisan piece to it. We're seeing the support because this plan takes a step that we so urgently need, more than just a step, number of steps. It funds big parts of the COVID-19 national strategy that we released yesterday. Our national strategy puts us on a war footing to aggressively speed up our COVID-19 response, especially on vaccines and testing and reopening our schools. I found it fascinating. Yesterday, the press asked the question.
That's President Biden speaking right now on COVID economic response, talking to the nation today on, again, just a few days into his presidency. And we'll have certainly more tonight coming up on KREM 2 News 4, 5, and 6 o'clock. Also happening today, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi plans to deliver a single article of impeachment against President Trump to the Senate coming up on Monday. That will trigger the beginning of an impeachment trial in the Senate. The article involves one count of incitement of insurrection, holding President Trump accountable for the deadly riot on Capitol Hill.
The yeas are 93, the nays are 2, and the nomination is confirmed.
Today, the Senate confirmed retired General Lloyd Austin as the next Secretary of Defense. He is the first Black American to lead the Department of Defense. He is a 4-star general with 4 decades of service in the Army. He retired 4 years ago and received a special waiver in the Senate and the House to serve in the cabinet. You're watching KREM 2 News at noon. We'll be right back with a look at Jeremy's forecast.